ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Just 1 second. Yeah. So welcome all of you all for our weekly Gita class. So we are discussing the second chapter, this section from 11 to 30. Krishna is discussing the subject of the soul. So we have been discussing various qualities of the soul. So we'll continue that discussion. Text 20. So 20 is a very important verse. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचन नायं भूत्वा भविवान भूयः ओ नित्यो शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Word to word. No, never. Jayate takes birth. Mriyate dies. Va either. Kadachit at any time, past, present, or future. No, never. Ayam this. Bhutva having come into being. Bhavita will come into being. Will come to be. Va or no, not. Puyaha or is again coming to be. Aja unborn. Nitya eternal. Shashvata permanent. Ayam this. Purana the oldest. No never. Hanyate is killed. Hanyamane being killed. Sharire the body. So the translation is like this. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. So Krishna is saying, for the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. That means the soul is eternal in the past, present, and future. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So this is a very beautiful verse from the Gita. So Krishna is speaking various aspects of the soul. So first he is saying that the soul is neither, there is no birth nor death for the soul at any time. The soul, all of us, have not come into being in the past. In the present also, we don't come into being. And in the future also, we will not come into being. That means we have always been there. So therefore, Krishna is saying, Ajo. Ajo means unborn. We are all unborn. So the body takes birth, but the soul is unborn. Ajo, Nitya. Nitya means eternal. Shashvato, ever existing. And Purano, primeval, very old. He is not slain when the body is slain. So Srila Prabhupada explains that this body goes through 6 kinds of transformation. Anything material goes through 6 kinds of transformation. So what are the 6 kinds of transformation? Anything material is born, it stays for some time, it produces byproducts, it dwindles, and then finally it dies, right? So it is born, it grows, there is maintenance, there is growth, there is maintenance, there is byproducts, it dwindles and dies. But the spirit soul, it is never born and it never dies. So it is eternal. So Srila Prabhupada, he gives quite a long purport. Just once again. Yeah. So Prabhupada says that the body goes through these 6 changes. So what is the difference between the body and the soul? So the body goes through 6 changes. There is birth, there is growth, there is sustenance, byproducts, dwindling, and death. This body or anything material has these 6 changes. But the soul is also called in the Vedic scriptures Kutastha. Kutastha means the soul is steady. The soul doesn't undergo 6 changes. None of these changes affect the soul. That means the soul is steady. So when you are a small child, what was the soul? The soul is the same. What we are now, the soul is still the same. At the end of our life, the soul will still remain the same. And in the next life also, the same soul continues. So Srila Prabhupada gives an example. The practical proof of this is that even an old man feels as if he is young, isn't it? Every old man feels that he's still young. Why? Because the body has become old, but the soul is still eternal and fresh. The body dies and dwindles, but it doesn't happen to the soul. So Srila Prabhupada explains that how do you perceive the soul? We discussed this also previously. So the soul is perceived by consciousness. So what is the symptom of the soul? Consciousness. So what is consciousness? Chetana. The consciousness is spread all over the body. Just like sun may be in the sky, but the sun rays is spread everywhere. So the soul may be in the region of the heart, but the energy of the soul, the consciousness of the soul is spread all over the body. And many times, even before you can see the sun in the morning, what do you see first? The sun rays, isn't it? So many times, even before you see the sun, you see the sun rays, the rising of the sun, and then what do you say? The sun is there. Even though you can't see the sun, you know for sure the sun is there. Why? Because if there is light, that means the sun is also there. So similarly, even though we may not be able to see the soul, but we can perceive the soul by the effect of the soul. Just like in science, all of you all can keep yourselves muted. So just like in science, we all know that electricity, when you put on the switch of the fan or the light, the fan rotates, the light gets on, it gives light. How does all this happen? Because of electricity, right? But can you see electricity? No one can see electricity. What can you see? You can see the effect of electricity. So similarly, you can't see the soul, you may not be able to perceive the soul, but you can see the effect of the soul, that is consciousness. Then Srila Prabhupada, the next point Srila Prabhupada explains is there are 2 kinds of soul. And Prabhupada gives the quotation from the Katha Upanishad, a similar passage which is there. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschin nayam kutaschi na bahuva kaschit ajo nityo shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So Srila Prabhupada explains that in this verse from the Katha Upanishad, it is explained that there are 2 souls in our body. Which are the 2 souls? One is the Atma, all of us, and along with the Atma is the Paramatma. So Krishna is also there in our heart as the Paramatma. So the Vedic scriptures explain that our body is like a tree, and in this tree there are 2 birds. One is the soul and the other is the Paramatma. Both these 2 birds are there, right? And what is the soul doing? This bird is eating different fruits of this tree. Sometimes sweet fruit, sometimes bitter fruit. When it eats a sweet fruit, it becomes happy. When it eats a bitter fruit, it becomes sad. But the other bird, the Paramatma, is not doing anything. It is just watching this bird. Krishna tells in the Gita, Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara, Upadrishta Anumanta Cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. So Krishna as the super soul is just watching us. He is not doing anything. So we are interested in eating different fruits of this tree. of our karma, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But Krishna is just watching. And what is Krishna waiting for? Krishna is waiting when the soul, when all of us will turn to him. So how Krishna is there right in our heart, very close to us. He's very close to us, the closest to our heart. But somehow we have forgotten Krishna and we are searching for things outside. We have forgotten a relationship with Krishna and we are trying to find relationship and happiness with the things of this world. Hmm? So these two souls are explained in the Upanishads, the Anu and the Vibhu. So all of us are infinitesimal and Krishna is infinite. So though both of us are spirit soul, the difference is we are very small and Krishna is large. He is Vibhu. Just like you have a spark of a fire and fire. Qualitatively one, but in terms of quantity, there is a vast difference. And what the difference is shown because Krishna, the super soul, knows the past, present, and future. But the individual soul, there is forgetfulness. As soon as you have a material body, what does material body means? Forgetfulness. We forget. Can we remember exactly what we did at 7:30 yesterday? Exactly what we were doing. Can't remember. Okay, at 7 o'clock what you did, at 6:30 what you did yesterday. Can't remember. We can't even remember what we did yesterday. That is a sense of forgetfulness. But Krishna as a super soul remembers everything, past, present, and future of his avatars and of all of us. So that is the relationship between Krishna and living entities. So Krishna as a super soul knows everything. And Arjuna here is like a living entity who has forgotten his real nature. So therefore, Arjuna needs enlightenment by Krishna. So just like Arjuna, we have all forgotten our relationship with Krishna. We are all wandering in this world. Brahmande Brahmite. We are wandering in this world, trying to find out who we are, what our existence is, trying to figure out the solution to the problems of this world. But we are not able to find it. Why? Because we have forgotten our real nature. Just imagine if someone his mind is not proper, his intelligence is not proper, he can't even understand who he is, what he will figure out life. So therefore, the first thing that Krishna teaches here in the Gita is that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. So we need a guru, we need Krishna in our life to enlighten us, to tell us this basic foundation. Just like for a building to stand, the foundation is needed. So for our entire life, the foundation is this. Gita is that foundation. And the basic tenet of the Gita is this, that we are the spirit soul. And then again, Srila Prabhupada quotes the Katha Upanishad to explain who can understand Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada says, the verse from the Katha Upanishad is like this: Anor aniyan mahato mahiyan atmasya jantor nihito guhayam tam akruptu pashyati vita shoko dhatu prasadan mahimanam atmana. So it says, who can understand the glories of the soul? One who is free from desires and lamentation by the grace of the Lord. By the grace of the Lord, can understand the glories of the soul. So that means to understand these spiritual subjects, one needs the grace of the Supreme. Without that, it's very difficult to understand. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada explains how the soul is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. And the body goes through different changes, but the soul doesn't go through any changes. And only one who is a devotee of Krishna, who's got that mercy of Krishna, can actually have some understanding of the topic of the soul. So till now, we are in verse 20. So the discussion of the soul started in verse 11. So quick recap of what we have done till here. In text 11, Krishna says, those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. So what is the symptom of a wise person? Just like someone who's rich has a symptom, right? He walks properly, he's dressed properly, dressed opulently. That's a symptom. So someone who's wise, what is the symptom? The wise laments neither for the living nor the dead, because he knows that both are temporary. So Krishna says in text 12, Never was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all the kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So Krishna is saying, my dear Arjuna, you also is always eternal. I am also am eternal, and all the kings who are here are also eternal. That means a living entity is always eternal. Therefore, even after liberation, the living entity, the Atma, doesn't lose its existence. And Srila Prabhupada, if you'll remember, when we discussed this purport in text 12, Srila Prabhupada was making this point that many of the Mayavadis or the impersonalists feel that after liberation, the soul loses its existence. It merges into the absolute. But Krishna is very clear here that the existence of the soul is never lost, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. I mean, the soul is eternal even beyond liberation. Then in text 13, there's that very famous verse, Dehi nosmin yata dehe, kaumaran yovanam jara. So Krishna is saying, just as the soul passes in this same body from child to boyhood to youth to old age, similarly at the time of death, the soul takes on another body. That's all. It's as simple as that. Just like, when the body of a child is lost, or when we lose our childhood body and get a body of a youth, we don't cry that, hey, those days have gone, that body is gone. No, we are still there. The body has changed. That's all. So similarly, at the time of death, a soul gets another body. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, why are you lamenting? Bhishma and Drona are anyway become old. You kill them or not, anyway they're going to die. But the soul will be eternal and they will get a new body. And then in text 14, we discussed Mata Sparshasthu Kaunteya, where Krishna is saying that happiness and distress come and go. So Krishna is saying happiness and distress come and go, just like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. Just like winter comes and goes, summer comes and goes. Just like now you have rainy season, right? What can you do? Just tolerate. This season will come and go. So similarly, happiness also comes and goes. So Krishna is saying, tolerate, my dear Arjuna. So now in this war, you have to fight with your own relatives. What can you do? You can't run away from your duty. So just carry on your duty and tolerate. So what will be the result? The result is a person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and continues his duty, is steady in both, is eligible for liberation. Then in text 16, Krishna says, the seers of the truth, those who are greatly knowledgeable people, have concluded that this material body, there is no endurance, that this body is going to fall off at any time. It's not permanent. And of the soul, there is no change. The soul doesn't undergo death. This is the nature of both the body and the soul. Therefore, you should know that in text 17, Krishna is saying, that which pervades the entire body, you should know it to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. And in text 18, Krishna says, material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, eternal living entity is sure to come to an end, therefore fight. So in 17th words, Krishna is saying, the soul is imperishable. Nothing can destroy the soul. It is indestructible. And the body is 100% destructible. You all please keep yourselves muted.
I'll fuck your ass.
Param Dayalu Prabhu.
Fuck you.
So unable to mute, Prabhu.
Somebody is this one typing or something like that. Just so switch off and come back again.
No. 1 minute. It's okay now. It's okay now.
Left, Prabhu. Somebody.
Like you don't have control.
Please
Prabhu, I have Prabhu, but
Yes,
they are
he has
unable to
left.
mute, Prabhu.
I removed him.
Actually.
So you keep the control, huh? थोड़ा अलर्ट रहो बस, ठीक है ना?
yes प्रभु.
बी अलर्ट, ठीक है, नो इशू. ये एक बार पहले भी हुआ था, इट हैपेंड बिफोर. No issue. So, yeah. So in text 17, Krishna is saying that which pervades the entire body is indestructible. That means the soul is indestructible, but the body is sure to come to an end. Therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna, fight, because you can't save the body of your relatives, and their soul anyway is eternal. So in text 19, Krishna says, neither who thinks that the living entity is the slayer, nor he who thinks it is slain is in knowledge. For the self slays not, nor is slain. And then in 20 that we just discussed, Krishna is saying, for the soul, there is neither birth nor death. He has not come into being, will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. So we'll continue from text 21. Yeah. Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam katam sa purusha partha kam gatayanti hantikam. O Partha, sorry, we'll read the word to word. Veda knows avinashinam, indestructible, nityam, always existing, ya, one who, enam, this, ajam, unborn, avyayam, immutable, katam, how, sa, that, Purusha, person, Partha, O Partha, come, whom, Ghatayanti, causes to hurt, Hanti, kills, come, whom. O Partha, how can a person who thinks that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? So Krishna is saying, a person who knows that the soul is eternal, unborn, immutable, how can someone kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? That means, how can anyone commit wrong things if he understands the subject of the soul? So Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful purport here. Srila Prabhupada says, the Vedic injunction says that never commit violence to anyone. Ma himsyat. Don't commit violence to anyone. So even though the recommendation in the scriptures is that one should not commit violence to anyone, but the same Vedic scriptures recommend violence. Why? Because when someone does something wrong, such a person should be punished according to Manu Smriti. So violence has a proper utility. Just like, Prabhupada gives this example, a surgeon's knife, right? So generally, no one wants to use a knife on anyone else's body. But if there is a cancer that is raging in someone's body, what do? You have to do an operation. You have to use the knife and remove it. So you have to give some pain, right? So similarly, violence also has a use. So the principle of complete non-violence is not practical. For the general people, they have to be non-violent. But the administrators, the Kshatriyas, have to use violence when it is needed. If you don't use it, then the criminals will keep increasing more and more. So there is utility. So Prabhupada says, man in complete knowledge knows where and how to apply for proper utility. So if someone is in knowledge, he knows how much apply that particular thing. Just like if you're walking in the forest, thorn gets stuck in your foot, what do? You use another thorn to remove the thorn, isn't it? So, I mean, if you are very intelligent, you know how to use it well, right? So similarly, Krishna is telling Arjuna, use violence, because Arjuna is not a Brahmana. Arjuna is a Kshatriya. He is supposed to fight. He is supposed to inflict violence for a greater good, right? He has to do a small damage for a greater good. Just like the same example of cancer. If cancer is all over your body, what you have to do, the first thing is you have to remove that cancer, that particular part you have to remove. Or sometimes you amputate a particular part of the body before the cancer spreads to other parts also. So similarly, in the society, if there are few people who are cancerous, then what you will have to do? You will have to remove such kind of people. Violence is needed. You have to act strictly with such people. So for administration of justice, so-called violence is permitted, especially by the blessings of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is personally telling Arjuna, fight. because it is your duty to fight. And therefore, Krishna is saying, Krishna is telling Arjuna, the soul is anyway immortal.
Mr. Motherfucker, I will fuck your ass.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hey, you can
I removed, Prabhu.
no, you have not removed everyone.
Prabhu?
हाँ, मैंने कर दिया. तुमको alert रखना है.
Okay, Prabhu.
You have to be alert.
Okay, okay.
ठीक है. Probably we'll need to change the password.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. थोड़ा बहुत हमारा क्षत्रिय स्पिरिट्स अभी आ रहा है बाहर.
Means they are hackers, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Hackers.
yeah.
Hackers.
Yeah, I'm sorry for this thing. Okay, so basically, that's what Krishna is telling here, that violence is needed when it is necessary. So everything has its own utility. So we'll read. Yeah. So in 2021, basically, Krishna is explaining the qualities of the soul, that it neither takes birth nor dies, it is unborn, primeval, ever existing, indestructible, immutable. But the body goes through so many changes: birth, growth, dwindling, dies, but the soul doesn't undergo any changes. So we also saw the symptom of the soul is consciousness. Even though we can't see the soul in the region of the heart, we can understand the soul through the consciousness. Just like many times we can't see the sun, but then we understand that the sun is there through the sun rays. The soul is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. And because of its desire to enjoy separately from Krishna, we have been entrapped in this body. And then we saw there are two kinds of soul, the Anuatma and Vibhuatma. One is the individual soul, and then is the Paramatma. So the difference between both is we have little knowledge for some time, but Krishna as the Paramatma knows past, present, and future. And then in this verse, in text 21, Krishna is saying violence has its utility. Just like a murderer in Vedic times should be hanged, that is the punishment given to the murderer, so that he will not suffer in the next life. Or just like a doctor uses his knife for saving someone's life, so similarly, violence, especially under the order of Krishna, is necessary for a greater good. So text 22 is also a very important verse in the Gita. Vachamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grinati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. As a
I'm
person
Jin
puts
and
on good
I
armor.
will fuck you ass. I will fuck you with my semen.
Hey, I think let's end for today. ये बहुत ही हो गया. Let's end for today. We'll continue the next time.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.